also the chair of the university's Senate Curriculum Committee. He was a Rockefeller Reflections on Development Fellow and was more recently conferred a MacArthur Fellow. Professor Osaghae has published over 100 articles in books and learned international journals, writing extensively on ethnicity, federalism, governance, and state politics. Amongst his award-winning works are Federal Character.
To anchor that point, let me tell you, sometime in the 1980s, the Prime Minister of Sweden was shot while waiting to enter a cinema house. What was he waiting to do? He was waiting to buy his ticket to enter the cinema. And some criminal comes around and shot him dead. Now, a new Prime Minister came. And the intelligence agencies said, look, we were too carefree the other time. Now we need to be sure that our security is spot on. So, Mr. Prime Minister, you're going to stay in the presidential house, like Aso Rock. And that's where we can take care of your security. And there was a huge national debate. You know what? The man said, it's good to go there. But who is going to pay the rent? The rent is too high. Did you hear me? To stay in the presidential villa, this Prime Minister had to pay rent. So he said, I can't afford it. There was a huge national debate. Now, if you hear such stories, you will just laugh. You say, it's really, they don't know what they are doing. Listen. A long time ago, somebody who should know, who was like from Mars or Jupiter, outer space, saw me and says to me, Professor, I want to give you a very simple question. And I'll be glad if you can find the answer to it. I said, what is the question? He says to me, have I seen any Nigerian alive who has the interest of this country at heart? So, you know, if we're in a comedy show, basketball would say, this man would answer a question with a question. That makes me Nigerian. So I said, why are you asking this question? So he said to me, look, sir, I've been to the highest Nigerian, I've seen the smallest Nigerian, and I've come to the painful conclusion that just for a little whatever, each Nigerian is ready to sell his or her country. Think of it for 1 minute. Look, young people who vote with their feet to go abroad because that's the vote should think of other countries where young people say, we stay here and don't go anywhere. Okay? Look, we have an endemic legitimacy crisis. We don't trust our leaders. We don't believe what they tell us. We don't believe that they act in our best interests. You may say, well, you know, with this government is different. It's a lie. At the end of it all, we have a credibility crisis. You know, in political sociology, we refer to this situation as a situation of amoral familism. Now, this is a situation where every person believes, number one, that every person that serves in government is corrupt. The ones that are not corrupt are the smart ones that have not been caught. Believe that the government does not have a moral right to exact any compliance from us because you say, do you love Nigeria more than I do? Just because you serve in government? You can only say, do what I say, not what I do. So we have another credibility problem there. But third, we believe that government has to be very strong because you see, this is a disorderly society. And the only way to keep this society together is to have strong government, the one that places the emphasis on law and order. What does this mean? When people protest, you shoot them. When people say we are pensioners who have not been paid, you send police to say to them, it is now a crime to have public possession. And you know, there are many of us who sit here and say, look, Nigeria needs iron hands. You say it because you have lost the capacity to believe that government can be run decently.